The scent of dark roast coffee and damp autumn air filled the sunroom of the Hayes residence. Sara Hayes, 23, a doctoral candidate in bioethics, sat at the polished cherrywood table, her pen hovering over a difficult section of the Proprietary Diagnostic Assessment, PDA. The PDA was not a test for a grade. It was the final, high-stakes metric in her adult honesty and integrity protocol, HIP, a self-imposed contract co-administered by her mentor, Dr. Helena Hayes, 50. The contract's premise was absolute. Honesty and integrity trumped academic performance. Failure to admit ignorance or, catastrophically, willful deceit during a PDA immediately triggered Clause 6, intense sensory accountability ISA, the agreed-upon, non-harmful consequence designed to break intellectual resistance and anchor the moral lesson through somatic overload. Sara had faltered on the very first section, a complex statistical model she hadn't mastered. Her professional integrity demanded she admit failure. Her deeply ingrained academic insecurity demanded the perfect score. The phone, containing all the necessary search engine keys, was hidden in her oversized shoulder bag, practically humming with temptation. When Dr. Hayes, immaculate in a tailored beige blazer, placed the PDA sheets before her, she hadn't just presented a test, she had presented a moral quandary. Sara chose the shortcut. The guilty rush of looking up the first complex statistical answer was instantly followed by the gnawing shame of having failed the integrity portion of the test. She had lied to her mentor, violated her contract, and deliberately substituted false competence for honest effort. The rhythmic tapping of the rain outside now sounded like a slow, deliberate drumbeat announcing the imminent, inevitable sensory consequence. She didn't fear the test, she feared the exposure of her deceit. And the intense sensory accountability was designed to strip that deceit bare. Dr. Hayes, entering the sunroom, carrying a thermal mug. Sara, the PDA. You have 90 minutes. Sara, jumping slightly, quickly hiding her jittery pen movements. Mom, Helena, I mean. I was just about to start Section B. Dr. Hayes, setting the mug down, her 50-year-old face calm but entirely serious. Good. This is proprietary data, Sara. The integrity of your data is paramount. As per the AHIP Section 3, if you do not know an answer, you leave it blank, or you write insufficient knowledge. The goal is honesty, not the illusion of perfection. No outside resources, no devices, no tricks. Do you formally acknowledge and accept these terms? Sara, swallowing hard, her recent cheating making the affirmation stick in her throat. Yes, Dr. Hayes. I accept. Dr. Hayes, I will be in the kitchen. Your time starts now. Show me your true competence, Sara. Dr. Hayes left the room. For 20 minutes, Sara struggled, honestly failing 3 major questions. Then, the impulse to preserve her academic pride overwhelmed her ethical commitment. She retrieved her phone. The cheating was meticulous, silent, and comprehensive. By the time Dr. Hayes returned, the PDA was a pristine, perfect document. Dr. Hayes, re-entering the room, wiping her hands on a cloth, her tone warm. Time's up, my dear. Let's review the results of this preliminary diagnostic. Sara, sliding the paper across the table with a forced, triumphant smile. I think I did exceptionally well. It seems I remembered more of the complex modeling than I thought. Dr. Hayes took the PDA. She scanned the first page, her brow lifting slightly, then narrowing imperceptibly on the third page, where the complex statistical model solution lay. Dr. Hayes, her voice remains light, but a cold edge of intellectual precision enters her tone. This solution for the k-means clustering model. Section A, Question 7. A brilliant application, Sara, but you struggled with this model in our last session. Kindly, without looking at the paper, detail the steps of the expectation maximization algorithm you used to derive this specific answer. Show me the thought process, not the product. Sara froze. Her mouth went instantly dry. The retrieved answer was a perfect formula, but the steps were rote memorization, not comprehension. Sara, stammering, avoiding eye contact. Well, it's complicated. You know how those formulas are. It's just a sequence of inputs. Dr. Hayes, her hand snaps down quietly, covering the PDA sheet completely. Her eyes, sharp and intelligent, bore into Sara's. No, Sara. It is not complicated. It is either your work, or it is not. You chose the solution. Now you must own the process. The formula is perfect, but your inability to explain the intermediate steps indicates rote transcription. The AHIP integrity protocol is breached. You cheated. Didn't you? Sara, shrinking in her chair, the weight of the lie crushing her. I only looked up that one. I panicked. I just didn't want you to think I was a failure. Dr. Hayes. She rises, pulling the chair back slowly. Her disappointment is a tangible, heavy presence. The AHIP demands honesty above all, Sara. Your performance is secondary to your integrity. You traded a temporary feeling of academic pride for the profound shame of willful deceit. That is an unforgivable lapse in an adult committed to the pursuit of truth. Protocol Stage 1, Acknowledgement of Deceit and Readiness. Dr. Hayes, stand up, Sara. We will deal with this lapse immediately, as stipulated by the AHIP, Clause 6.2. There will be no scolding. There will be only the agreed-upon intense sensory accountability, ISA, designed to anchor the lesson against your conscious will. Sara stands, trembling. She knows what is coming, and it is far worse than any lecture. The AHIP explicitly forbids paddles or physical pain, relying solely on sensory overload. Dr. Hayes, the ISA must bypass the intellect to reach the ethical center. You attempted to hide your weakness behind a perfect test. We will expose that weakness through an overwhelming sensory honesty. Remove your blazer and your shirt, Sara. You will wear only your undershirt and trousers for the accountability session. Sara obeys, her movements slow and resigned. She is a mature woman, athletic and deeply ashamed. She places her blazer and shirt neatly on the chair. Dr. Hayes, now move to the sofa. You will stand, facing the backrest. Protocol Stage 2, the exposure of resistance, Sara, 23. Dr. Hayes, you thought you could hide your actions from me. Let's see how well your nervous system hides its responses. Dr. Hayes stands behind Sara, her hands hovering. She selects a specific instrument from a small, discreet box on the end table, a specialized, feathered wand, soft but capable of intense sensory focus. Dr. Hayes, the first test, ribcage response. Her fingers, then the tip of the feather, dart lightly against Sara's sides, just below her adult armpits. For the first lie, Sara instantly shrieked, an involuntary gasp of shock followed by uncontrollable, hysterical laughter. She jumped violently, twisting away from the touch. Sara, screaming with laughter, ha ha ha, no, stop, I didn't mean to, ha ha ha. Dr. Hayes, her voice is relentless, stern, but entirely controlled. You are 23, Sara. You are an adult who chose deceit. Laughter is the sound of your intellectual control dissolving. For the deliberate copying of the K-means model. Dr. Hayes followed the feathered wand with her own firm, nimble fingers, digging lightly into the sensitive points of Sara's ribs and waist. Sara thrashed against the back of the sofa, kicking her legs, utterly helpless to the sensory attack. Sara, sobbing through laughter, H-A-H-A-H-A. I'll never. I swear. Please. I can't breathe. Ha ha. Dr. Hayes gave her a brief pause, letting Sara gasp for air, her chest heaving. The silence was instantly shattered by the ticking of the clock. Dr. Hayes, Protocol Stage 3, the anchor point. We are anchoring the sensory shock to the feeling of deceit. Will you ever cheat on an integrity assessment again, Sara? The answer must come without any laughter. Sara, gasping, trying to stabilize her voice. And no, never. I promise. Dr. Hayes, your voice is still shaky, Sara. Your nervous system still registers deception. The ISA must continue. She selects a fine, stiff-bristled brush, designed for high-sensitivity scrubbing. We move to somatic vulnerability. Dr. Hayes kneels, targeting the backs of Sara's knees and the sides of her adult bare feet. Sara had slipped off her slippers during the struggle. The stiff bristles scrubbed lightly but intensely against the highly sensitive skin. Sara, she exploded into a higher-pitched shriek of uncontrollable laughter, collapsing against the sofa, curling her legs up in a futile attempt to escape the overwhelming sensation. Ha ha ha! No. Please. I get it. I get it. Ha ha. Mom. The relentless, systematic application of a sensory tool continued, focusing on the most ticklish, vulnerable parts of the adult body, the feet, the sides, and the abdomen, until Sara was reduced to a shaking, gasping mess, completely unable to maintain the facade of control. Dr. Hayes finally steps back, the tickling implements laid down. Sara is slumped over the sofa back, shaking, utterly depleted, but the hysterical laughter has finally subsided, leaving only deep, shuddering breaths. Dr. Hayes, her voice is soft now, but carries the weight of finality. Look at me, Sara. You are an adult. The ISA is not childish play. It is a profound commitment anchor. The feeling of being utterly helpless and exposed, that is the consequence of ethical failure. Does your body now understand the cost of deceit better than your mind did? Sara, straightening slowly, wiping the tears of laughter away, her voice raw. Yes, Helena. I understand. It was overwhelming. I will never substitute a lie for the truth again. I swear it. Dr. Hayes, good. Now, take the original PDA. Right? Failed integrity protocol across the top. Then, you will spend the next 3 days rewriting your AHIP commitment clause to include stronger safeguards against intellectual dishonesty. The work, Sara, is always in the integrity, not the perfect answers.